Miracast didn't work. So before I get questions about why I have a pretty mountain behind me, it's because Miracast, I can't drag the thing over to the display that I need.
You know what? It's okay.
It's a nice very picture, though, isn't it? Like
it is pretty. It's nice. Where'd you get that?
Wallpapers.com. I don't know where. I searched for mountain nature wallpapers at some point. Like I have like 4 wallpapers, and I kind of rotate them throughout the year based on the season because I'm like that. Yeah.
So we should tell people the schedule this week.
Yeah. So nothing happening tomorrow, nothing happening Friday, and more than likely nothing happening Monday unless there's some big story. Yeah. But yeah, definitely nothing happening the next couple of days because there will be no way to record it because I will be going to a desert island away from Connect. Actually, I'm not going anywhere desert island, but
Alabama, the desert by the sea.
Pretty much. Pretty much other things that are happening. Apple launched like 7 phones yesterday. I gotta tell you, none of these really.
Really? Well, that was my first question. So are you
going to I something tells me I'll probably end up with one, but I'm not sitting here going like
you don't go to Waffle House, you end up at Waffle House.
Well, here's
it's like what.
Like, here's the thing. Somebody made a really good point to me. They're like, you're going to go spend $1,000 on a new phone to open the same 3 apps that you're opening today.
Don't listen to those people, Brad. That's
and I was
talk.
like,
no, that's very rational.
And the other thing, too, so the cameras, like every year they talk about how they're winning Nobel Prizes with cameras each year, which reminds me very much of the golf industry when I see a new driver advertised by Callaway, and every year somehow it's getting more distance, even though it's still the same physics.
My favorite marketing bit from this year was that last year they described the iPhone 11 Pro series as all screen, and this year they promoted the 12 Pro series as having smaller bezels. But so the camera thing is the sticker for me. So they make it very hard to actually compare these things accurately, but I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like the iPhone 12, which is the 2 lens system, is roughly identical to what they had last year, right? Wide and ultra wide. They may be slightly different pieces. I actually don't know. The Pro series adds the 3rd one, which is telephoto, but it also adds the weird nuance that the Pro Max, I think it's the ultra wide and the telephoto are both different. The ultra wide is more wide. Mm-hmm. And the telephoto is more telephoto. It has more optical zoom. I don't remember the exact numbers. So that kind of makes it kind of squishy. The other little weird detail here is I can get $500 on trade for my iPhone, so I'm seriously considering some iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
An iPhone 11 with 120 gigs of RAM, which is a little bit of an upgrade because it starts at 64, is $879. An iPhone 12 Pro, the smaller one, with 128 gigs, which is the base, is $999. Yeah. So there's only $120 difference there. That's it makes it kind of weird. Like the other thing they did was they remember last year the iPhone 11. Is that the one your wife has, by the way?
Yes, that's the one that she has.
So it's an LCD display,
mm-hmm.
slightly bigger bezels than the other phones. This year, 5.8 inches, I think. This year the screen. Oh no, sorry, that was the iPhone Pro. The iPhone 11 was a 6.1 inch screen, so it's kind of sat between the Pro and the Pro Max size-wise. This year, it's so hard to even say this stuff. The 12 and the 12 Pro have the same size display. They're 6.1 inches. And the 12 has an OLED display. I think it's the same display.
Mm-hmm. I think it is too.
Yeah, so
it's very similar if it's
if it's not, and smaller bezels, et cetera, et cetera. So it really makes this decision difficult in a way. Like these things are kind of close. Like it's kind of weird that they even have both of them.
And you know what's the one thing we didn't even mention?
What's that?
5G. Hey.
Well, because 5G doesn't matter.
At least not this year. I mean, it eventually will, but it
of course.
It shouldn't be why you buy this phone.
No, don't buy this for 5G. Well, unless you live in a place that actually has 5G, I guess. But there's also little other weird things. Like if you go through AT&T and Verizon, you could save some money.
Yeah.
Somehow there's like carrier deals that are better than the list price, which is like, what is that?
Verizon also got a nice like 30-minute, here's our 3D paint app.
Oh my God.
Type scenario.
That was terrible. That was just that was the worst part of the whole thing. What When was the last time you saw a carrier guy dragged out
Hmm.
on stage at an Apple event?
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't
granted,
AT&T. I mean, that's usually who they're buddy with, but times 2020 is a weird year, so
Yep.
the Verizon
Yep.
got on stage.
Yeah. Did he throw down like a thing on the stage and disappear in a ball of sulfur or something? Or how did he leave the stage? I didn't even watch. So I just, I don't know. Like it's, I don't even use an iPhone full time. So like, why would I spend $100 upgrade? I mean, for my purposes, doesn't this thing that I already have? The other thing, by the way, sorry to digress yet again, is this phone that I have, which is the 11 Pro Max, weighs a ton. It is a lead brick of a phone. It's heavier than the 11 Note Pro, the Note 11, Note 11 Ultra, the Note 20 Ultra. Jesus Christ. Sorry, there's so many numbers, so many names. Anyway, so I looked at they talked about how these things were like thinner and lighter and blah, blah, blah. The 12 Pro Max is heavier than this thing. It's even heavier. And it's like, so I'd have to spend $1,100 minus, $600 to get the best cameras, because now that you have to get the big one, it's going to be bigger and heavier. Maybe not bigger, but it's certainly heavier. I don't know. Oh, and by the way, another weird one. They added the MagSafe thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which they call it
Stuff on the back.
MagSafe, even though it's
I know.
Mag
It's
attached.
okay.
but
They like
whatever.
their brands. Okay, it's fine. They like bringing stuff back. It's cute. It's fine. So I went, of course, go and look at the accessories, right? They have the little wallet clip-on thing. They've got the little, they have a case. And the case can go on the outside, et cetera, et cetera. You know what they don't have? It's literally not there. The leather case. And I think it's because the leather case can't work with the magnets.
No,
So-
I think they said it was coming at a later time. I thought.
Okay. Well, it's not there now.
But
So-
see, that's the stupid thing. Is like I actually see the value in having that little like thing that would just attach to your phone.
Do you use your phone without a case?
No, that's the other problem.
Yeah. See, I don't. I wouldn't trust. Well, now look. I mean, I guess they're talking about this durable whatever they call it, the surface they have on the outside now. But I would never use a non-polycarbonate phone without a case.
Yeah, it's
Never.
just gonna get beat to hell.
Yep.
Which
No,
kind of
I'm like gorilla. I destroy everything I touch.
including,
Whether I
including
want to
me.
or not. It's including relationships.
That is your specialty.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they'll sell fairly well. They're not including the charging block thing, and they're also not including any sort of headphones.
That's the other lie here. This is amazing to me. We're not including headphones, which who cares? Those headphones are always crap. And other companies have stopped including headphones. I'm going to give them a pass on that. But we're not including the charging brick because everyone already has a bunch of those things. We're trying to save the environment. What we are including, however, is a Lightning to USB-C cable, which not everyone has.
Right. That's
So
the
if
key.
you have Apple stuff from before, like you have 12 of these charging bricks from your other iPhones, guess what? They don't work with the cable Apple put in the box.
Mhm.
So you actually still have to buy something. Like seriously.
Yeah, Anchor's
how does
probably
that
sitting
save
there
the
watching
environment?
this, just like counting their money, like, oh, we're gonna make
This is so awful. I just and people like applaud. Look, Apple cares about the environment. Here's how you could care about the environment: ship one package instead of two, because they're going to buy one of these things now. Or just don't buy one and save the environment by not shipping stuff from China. Just a thought.
Well, they just passed the carbon tax on to probably Amazon.
Right.
So, I mean,
I don't know. Anyway, so I go through the it's not 7 stages of grief, but it's the 7 stages of acceptance with Apple events. Because, in the beginning, you kind of make fun of them because they're so ridiculous. And then you kind of look seriously at it and you're like, oh, maybe. And then, I mean, thank God I couldn't order something immediately because it gives me time to really think about this. Part of me just wants to review one. We know that Mehdi, for example, is getting a Pro, the smaller version. And normally I would get like a Pro Max, but I just like, God, these things are so big. And like, what are the chances I'm actually going to switch to iPhone this year? Is it going to be that much better?
could be. Makes it easier for me to text you.
It could be, yeah.
That way I don't have to deal with your green bubble nonsense.
I literally had a friend ask me over the weekend if there was any messaging app that I use aside from text messaging. And I was like, no, why? And he goes, I have an iPhone and this is something horrible about texting you. And I'm like, please explain what that means. And he's like, I can't explain it. He's like, sometimes I feel like things are delayed and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, maybe you could get an Android phone. Like the rest of the planet. Sorry. But
So anyway, I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to buy it. Like, the problem is, the thing that would entice me to actually go out and be like, I'm buying one day one, is if that stupid notch wasn't the size of Texas.
They have stuck with that so belligerently. You know they could have made this much smaller.
Yeah.
You know,
They will eventually, probably next year.
Of course they will, and they'll get a standing ovation. You know, we finally did it. But I don't understand not making it smaller, less tall. You know, one of the problems with the iPhone is when you look at like a diagonal screen measurement, you have to eliminate like this much of it because that part of the screen up there is not usable. I mean, I know it has status icons, but I mean,
but that's all it's good for, though.
Pretty much, you know, it's. I use all these. I mean, probably in front of me 7 phones or more. They have little hole punch on the front screen. No, you know, actual edge-to-edge displays. Yeah, and of course they didn't do the 120 hertz thing.
No.
Because they would have had to have raised the price. I think, you know, part of the deal with not throwing in the extras and not having that faster display because the cost of the 5G components would have raised the price, and they can't. God forbid they drop their margins by 3%. Yeah, and even by the way, on the iPhone 11, the base model, if you upgrade from 64 to 128, it's like $100. Like what? Like, guys, seriously. Like, I mean, they're still pulling those little money shenanigans.
The one thing that could potentially get me to upgrade, but I don't know if it's worth it yet, is the battery on my phone. That's the biggest concern of my current device. Like, it's not slow. I don't have any issues with really anything.
$100 would fix that problem.
Yeah.
Less, you know. No, I mean, iPhone battery repair is more. There's almost as many places to do that as there is to buy pizza in your neighborhood. I mean,
yeah, no, there really is. There actually is a like iBreak You Fix or whatever they call it, like right next to, like 2 minutes from here.
Yeah. So I mean, that if battery life is a concern, you could solve that problem.
Or I can just get a battery case too. That's always the other. But then the other part of that is too is like, where am I really going to go for so long that I'm not near a charger in 2020? And let's be honest, probably most of 2021, because I'm not going to any trade shows. At least the earliest one I think would be Ignite, maybe, which isn't going to be until about the same time they launch the next iPhone.
Yeah, and that's probably not going to happen. But yeah,
I would be surprised if Ignite happens next year in person. I mean. Oh, I'm not gonna win. Anyways, they also announced a little yarn ball for $100 that.
I mean, that's fine. You know, I feel like what they should have done alongside that is reduce the price of the big HomePod as well.
Yeah, I feel like the $99 price point is actually pretty darn good. Like in typical Apple fashion, they were so close to having like a good product. You know, ignoring Siri because I would never use that stupid thing. If it just would have had Spotify. If it just
God, they're so awful.
I know.
Aren't they awful? There was like a League of Legends a segment as an FU to Fortnite, and then
that was great, by the way. The most popular mobile game or whatever. They're like,
we're all like, what is it? Like what? It's like Bard's Tale coming soon to the iPhone. Like exciting. And then they had a screen with like the icon of every music service you've never heard of. Can you think of anything missing from that screen?
Yeah.
Is there one service that, you know, everyone actually uses that
people really like that are?
Oh, that's just so awful like that, you know? Anyway, yeah, $99, great. The mini devices from other companies are less expensive. You can get like a Google Nest Mini, whatever they call it, for $50. But the audio quality on the thing is going to be way better for sure. And $100 would get you that new Nest Audio speaker that I had gotten. I'm sure those things are probably roughly comparable. I bet the Apple one sounds really good. But
I bet it does. I bet it does. I don't doubt that it.
Yep. Can't even imagine. My God, it's like someone has shown you a one-way dead-end street, and they're like, if you go down there, you can't come back. And they're like, I gotta go, but you can't come back.
There's free candy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So. Anyways, I mean, was there anything else? They did the yarn ball. They did the phones. They did.
It was HomePod phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not buying a HomePod thing. I mean, this might be.
It's nice to be certain about something. The iPhone is like, maybe. The HomePod is like, no.
I honestly don't think I'm going to be ordering one Friday. At least based on right now. I don't know. I guess maybe I'll wait for reviews or wait and see if my phone just takes a dump. But like, I keep going back to what am I going to do with it? Well, I'm going to take pictures. Yeah, the pictures would be better, but you know what? They're good enough.
What are you taking pictures of?
My kid, like in my dog laying in the sun. Like that's.
You're going to take a picture of the Grand Canyon at sunset. It might be a little better.
Yeah. Well, they talk like it's a Jesus moment. Like we have reinvented photography like every single year. They got to come up with something new. And they tried to do it, I guess, with 5G, and we're making fun of them for that. But it's a phone.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see.
It's a phone with some cameras and a big notch. But not
and those
notches.
pretty edges.